The Station is a short indie horror game that takes a seemingly mundane part of everyday life, waiting for a train, and turns it into something unsettling, disturbing, and deeply psychological. In just 5 to 10 minutes, the game presents multiple branching paths, each leading to a different fate, all hinging on the smallest of choices. What seems like an ordinary commute home becomes something far more sinister, questioning the nature of fate, morality, and karma. It's a typical Thursday. You're just another weary worker, daydreaming about a raise, maybe even buying a car in a few years, so you won't have to deal with the subway anymore. The world around you is dull and lifeless. The bored shopkeeper barely acknowledges you. The station is eerily quiet, and the weight of monotony presses down. Then you meet him, the sad man. He stands there, scuffing his shoes along the ground, his posture heavy with grief. If you choose to speak to him, he tells you his life is falling apart. His wife has left, he's lost his job, and you're the first person he's spoken to in 3 days. A simple conversation, a fleeting moment of kindness, and he smiles, telling you that you've earned good karma. It feels insignificant, just a line of dialogue in a game, but as we'll see, karma isn't always what it seems. You also meet a mechanic who asks for help retrieving a screwdriver from the maintenance closet. Whether you help him or not determines the path you take, but the consequences aren't as predictable as you might think. If you help the mechanic and talk to the sad man, the train arrives and you step on board. It's packed, but you manage to find a seat opposite the sad man. Exhausted, you close your eyes and drift off. When you wake, the train is eerily silent. Too silent. Then the horror unfolds. Every passenger on the train has been brutally massacred. Blood pools across the seats, lifeless bodies slumped where they sat. You push forward, stepping over the carnage until you see him, the sad man, hammer in hand, mid-swing, bludgeoning another victim. And then he sees you. But instead of attacking, he tells you that you're free to go, that this is the karma he promised you, a twisted reward for a simple act of kindness. You escape the train, alive, but forever haunted by the nightmare you just witnessed. This ending plays with the idea that morality is not a one-way street. We assume that good deeds lead to good outcomes, but here, karma doesn't bring safety. It grants you an ominous exemption. Was the old man planning to do this all along? Or did your kindness somehow push him over the edge, giving him the resolve to act? If you talk to the sad man but ignore the mechanic, the train arrives and you board as usual. Something feels off though. The train is moving too fast, too dangerously fast. Then it happens, a malfunction. The train crashes. You don't make it. This ending suggests that inaction has just as much impact as action. The choice not to help the mechanic results in a deadly accident. Perhaps the mechanic was the only thing keeping the train running safely. Or perhaps it's just a cruel twist of fate, punishing you for prioritizing one stranger's pain over another's practical needs. Either way, you pay the price. If you help the mechanic but don't speak to the sad man, things take a more direct turn for the worse. You board the train, exhausted, and doze off, only to wake with a jolt as the sad man looms over you, hammer in hand. Before you can react, he swings. This ending flips the first one on its head. Instead of karma saving you, indifference seals your fate. There's no conversation, no connection, just cold, brutal violence. It reinforces the idea that the sad man's actions are not entirely random. He spares those who show him kindness, but those who ignore him become just another body on the train. Perhaps the most tragic of the endings occurs if you choose to ignore both the sad man and the mechanic. When the train finally arrives, the old man makes his final decision. He walks right onto the tracks, ending his life before your eyes. This is the only ending where the horror doesn't come from the train ride itself, but from the weight of human suffering. Sometimes the scariest thing isn't supernatural, it's loneliness, grief, and despair left unchecked. And then there's the secret ending. If you talk to the sad man and help the mechanic, but before you hand him the screwdriver, you take a sledgehammer and hide it in a trash can near the shopkeeper, something very bizarre happens. The train arrives, you board, and suddenly everyone is dancing. The passengers are having a great time, music blaring, and the sad man is still covered in blood, but it's as if none of the previous horrors matter anymore. This absurd ending feels like a meta joke on the game's grim themes. It's a reminder that in horror, sometimes the most unsettling thing isn't violence or tragedy, it's when logic completely breaks down. Or maybe it suggests that with just the right series of choices, even the most broken realities can become something joyful, if only for a moment. The station takes a simple concept, a delayed train, a few strangers, and a series of small decisions, and turns it into something deeply unnerving. With each different ending, the game shifts its message, exploring themes of fate, morality, and unintended consequences. It plays with our assumptions about karma, showing us that doing the right thing doesn't always mean a good outcome, and that inaction can be just as deadly as making a bad choice. It highlights the loneliness of modern life, where a single conversation can mean everything to someone on the edge. And at its heart, it leaves us with one lingering question: how much of our fate is truly in our hands? If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, please make sure to like and subscribe for more game discussion, theories, and analysis videos. Have a wonderful day.